meeting. Stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to the meeting of the Stamford Selectboard. If you have a matter to discuss that is not included on the agenda, you may do so by addressing the chairperson and stating your name and address. You will notice that all our meetings are recorded. This is to aid for the summarization of the minutes. Visitors are welcome. We allow 5 minutes of comments per visitor and 15 minutes per topic. Discussions will be held in a calm, civilized manner and respectful of others. Select board members present are
Mike Demont.
Nancy Bashika.
Doug Gray. John Dunn.
Will there be any adding of items or removing of items from tonight's agenda?
I have additional correspondence.
And I want to add a dog update. And will there be any adjustments to the agenda such as changing the order of items? I don't think so. And our meeting is being recorded tonight for Jeff's YouTube video. Hearing visitors.
I just would like to say something. We attended the all boards meeting. What was that, last week?
Mm-hmm.
We got to listen to Paul Easter talk about the volunteer firemen. I believe Mike has discussed this too in past meetings. 16 members at the volunteer firemen, 6 of which are from out of town, leaving 10 local firemen, all I believe at the age of what, 50 and above, somewhere. Bill could probably chime in and give you more information.
I think the average age is 45.
Yeah, those were the active members.
So it is important to have, Paul has stated, younger people coming up. I know it's hard getting a high school kid or a college kid involved because they go out, they get educated, and then they're out on their lives and they're not volunteers anymore. So I know this goes out to the public, YouTube video or whatever it may be. If there's any residents in town or anybody that's close by in town that is interested in becoming a volunteer fireman, I would suggest reaching out to Paul Ethier or any other active members and see what you can do to get involved if you're interested, because it's important to keep that program going.
Any Monday night at 7, Firehouse.
Thank you, John.
We talked a lot about that from that past meeting and before that. And one of the things I brought up is the residents, and I'm not saying they're sitting back, but residents don't realize how important it is. Not only is it important, of course, by the obvious things, but if you don't have a volunteer fire department in your town, and you have to reach out to another town or pay, I mean, your insurance changes. And I just went through that with that new property down there. Because of the waiting that the fire department has, it was difficult to get fire insurance. If we didn't have one at all, it would be impossible. So we also have to think about down in the future, it's gonna impact our taxes. I read an article, I was talking to Paul, and I can't remember who wrote it, but he said in the article, he made a statement, he says, I believe that the last volunteer fireman has already been born in the country. Think about that.
It's about 20 years.
So if that's it, then that's how everybody, it's not just Stamford, Vermont, every person in the, or every volunteer fire department in the country is going this way. And you're right, the age is 47 is pretty young because I think Adams now is 57. So it's getting tough. You know, it's a lot harder than it was back in the day. And that's one of the other things. It's very time consuming. So hopefully we can get some younger people. And it is very important. Glad you brought it up.
Okay, reading and approval of records and orders. The orders are going around. Regular minutes of September 4th. Can I have a motion to accept them as written?
Motion.
Second? Anybody second?
Second.
One. All in favor?
Aye.
Highway update.
Monday, they're gonna do the sweeping of each road, all those stones will be swept. grant for 2025 and 2026 has been inspected and approved for Sportsman's Row. I know that Jim Henderson has also been in town to do work on our hydronically connected systems. Every 5 years now, we have to go through and re-inspect all of those. So he's been working on that too. Lori and I have to get together and work on submitting the bills for that so we can get paid. Our new highway guy is gonna start on Monday. We've been working on the upper part of Sportsman's Row, where there's a bunch of trees. It's really narrow. We're removing the trees so we can push the snow back. It's almost impossible sometimes up there. Now there's a full-time resident at the end. Sometimes we meet, on the road there, somebody has to back up, so it needs to be done. Machine's there, so we're getting that done. And then I plan on moving up the Robert Pond. I can move some ditch work up there this fall.
Yes,
Oh, I guess I could have used it in hearing your visitors, but since Dave was here, I just wanted to kind of give an update. When I originally asked a couple weeks ago regarding the sidewalk that was out in front of my house, I contacted the state. The state in return contacted Dave, and then the state pretty much said, I can do whatever I want. They're not going to take responsibility for it, but I'd have to hire somebody to be out on the road, like flaggers and stuff like that, to take out the stuff. But to me, somebody's got to take responsibility for the sidewalk. So I mean, I would, if the town of Stamford won't remove that sidewalk, is it possible for the town to write something that says we are not responsible for this and we're not going to do anything about this, so that I can then in return, like, somebody's got to take responsibility? Because when I said, okay, if the state's not taking responsibility, then you don't have a right of way in the front of my house. And he goes, well, we do. And I go, then you own it.
but it's your sign.
That's your sidewalk. And he kind of was like, ugh. So, I mean, I know that it was there prior to and it was abandoned, so to say, but I mean, I'm not gonna spend the money but it is a hazard. I mean, at some point, somebody would have to take responsibility. It's a bad section of sidewalk, and the last two visible sections are in front of my house and in front of the Eiler's house. And I mean, it wouldn't be nothing to just dig it up and even run you don't even have to put dirt in there, I guess, unless they're like really deep, you know what I mean, that you can just kind of like grade it up. I mean,
Why, if it was never ours, why do we take responsibility for it, Dave?
That's the thing, if you start doing it, they're gonna say, we're going within the state
Correct.
right away.
Right.
And you need a permit. Yeah, so it's a,
Then you're not $1 million,
Yeah.
you don't have $1 million policy.
I mean, I dug a ditch close to this highway and they stopped and said something to me, so they kept digging, but.
I mean, I guess my question is, I'd like to know if Dave and the board can collectively write something that doesn't necessarily specify my home, but maybe both, pieces that are
It's a
showing,
hazard
and it needs to be
and the
addressed.
the town's not responsible, nor do we have the funds
I mean,
to take care of that.
I did recontact state DOT just to, really to make sure that
Yeah.
it just wasn't being kind of brushed off. And the response I got was that it was given up years ago and given back to the landowners. So
there's no right of way.
So they still have a right of way, but they kind of
Right.
gave up the sidewalk, I guess, the means of the sidewalk.
Sure they did, of course, that's
That's
awesome
the
deal.
answer that I got from it, but, yes, I'd be happy.
I'm gonna send something to us, that would be good.
Does it have to be ripped out, or could you like bury it, cover it up, and just plant some topsoil?
I mean, I guess you could put
Is it
stuff
sticking
on
up really high?
It's not super high. It's flatter and more even in front of Rodney's house. my house is kind of more buried and kind of like there's pieces kind of sticking up. Again, is it a massive like?
I mean, I don't understand why he can't fix it. It's like my driveway, I grade my driveway, it's a dirt driveway, start at the highway and I grade the driveway, take care of it. If I didn't, there'd be stone out on the highway all the time.
He told me I had to hire police detail.
And technically, anytime you're working in the right way, you're supposed to have a burden.
Right.
I mean, they usually don't, I mean, something like that, you're maintaining the driveway, nobody really stops, and I think they just appreciate you doing the work as long as there's no issue.
And that's what I'm saying, if he started doing it, see if anybody says anything. I mean, I guess we could write a letter, but it just doesn't make sense, you have to hire anybody if you're gonna be just going down the side.
They're not gonna jump right on it anyways, they're up on top of Searsburg fixing whatever they got going on up there. And they're getting ready for winter, if anything, they probably won't get done till next year.
That's why I'm just like, might as well keep pushing to see what.
Yeah, so, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to reach out to them and
I
then
could write a letter,
Have
yeah.
Dave reach out first and see what they're saying.
I don't know who else to reach out to, I mean, I got the answer from the people I deal with.
Mhm.
If you wanna go above that.
No, get it, see if he'll send you something, send you an email.
Yeah. You want us to send a letter?
Lori,
Well, cause I verbally spoke, Dave, what was the gentleman's name?
Patrick Wilson.
Yeah, so I spoke to him and he was the one that told me they gave it up. So I don't know where he sits in the pecking order of, you know, the
Yeah.
uppers, but I know he's the supervisor for the
This
crew,
area.
this area. So, he was pretty much told me, well, you do whatever you want, you just gotta hire a detail. And I'm like, so you gave up the right of way? And he's like, well, no. But I go, well, then why aren't you maintaining the sidewalk? It's a hazard. And then it was just kind of like a useless conversation.
I can see if you were
Depends
blocking
on
the whole
who's
road.
talking to him, yeah.
My guess is he got his answer from somebody hired.
Yeah, but I can see if you were blocking the whole road to hire a detail, but I mean, just like the phone company or the internet guys, they put a couple
Put
cones
cones out.
Yeah, you don't know, if you could put 2 cones there.
If you're working on a grant and you don't hire detail and you're mowing your lawn.
Right, that's what I'm saying, if you ran a small excavator up there, like, boop, 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 throw some dirt in.
Yeah, I just don't know how big of a machine I would even need. What's buried is like,
I mean, there's no gas pipes up here, right?
No.
There's no underground anything.
no. I don't even start.
I know they got a small excavator if you want to.
I just don't know how like, big the pieces actually are,
Yeah,
because I know how to get into
Maybe
jackhammer.
Rodney can help.
right,
you.
yeah.
Maybe Rodney can help you.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
I mean, if you draw a letter up, you want us to send it, you know, what you want to say, I wouldn't have a problem doing that. You tell me this is what you want us to say, send it to them and say.
well, I'm just looking for them to ultimately say again, we're not going to take care of it.
Yeah.
And then I have to figure out like what I'm gonna do from that point, but I'd like to have them actually like write it down and say that they forfeited
Yeah,
that section rather than a phone call, because a phone call can be weird.
Yeah.
Back truck up, dump some topsoil, spread it out.
Come on.
mhm. Please, yes.
If you call the state rep, Cooper there.
Yeah.
He also works at, Bennington County. He is a awesome resource. And then it's like, you want an answer, he'll give it to you in like 15 minutes. He'll make the phone calls. So he's the one that got all the information I needed for the front, easement. That argument. So,
Is there a
You got it.
possibility for another grant to continue the sidewalk? On the other side of,
No.
We had a feasibility, there was a whole study done on that sidewalk, and it was supposed to be a larger project, and then it got truncated down to what it is because the rest of it wasn't feasible at the
Yeah.
time. But I came on, that project was already started when I started working for the town, so.
I think if they went down south more, you were going into people's septic and drainage and,
I was just wondering if they would continue it down to the bridge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
cause I think
That
wasn't
was
it going
part
to
of the
Mill
original
Road?
intention,
It was supposed to start at the bridge.
bridge to Stebbins Lane.
Bridge to further down too,
Even more.
down to, Probably Jepson. Because I know in front of the couple
I never
houses
knew when
down
they
there.
cut back, whether it was, they ran out of money or we refused to match anymore. Because it was re-estimated a few times.
It was high,
Nice,
and it was a grant. Safe Routes to School that got involved in it too.
Walk to school.
Nobody walks anymore.
People think the policy of the mountains is dead.
So Dave, see if you can get something in writing.
Okay. I'll have an email or.
Alright.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay, anything else on highway updates?
No.
So Lori, as soon as we pay the bills for Allstate and get all done with that, we'll have to move the money before the end of the year from, check with the auditor how to do it.
Yep.
That's it, Dave?
That's what's going on.
Recycling,
You know, I was having a thought, I don't know if now's the time to bring it up, but the Casella, I mean, the service is not like it was with Cam.
Right.
We have this third person now, I just kind of dabbling with the idea of if we had our own roll-off truck. Because it costs a huge amount of money every year to have these things hauled.
So where does, I know we've gone down this road about, huh?
I don't know exactly where it goes.
Because we've gone down this road that Vermont's supposed to haul to Vermont, but I don't believe they are.
I got an answer probably a year ago.
Right.
Depends on the price, the tipping fee upstate, where does they tip now up? What's the landfill upstate? I don't know, there's one big landfill.
Shaftesbury.
No, there's one big landfill upstate, and depending on the price, it might go over to New York State and it might be shipped somewhere else.
Yeah, I know that
Right.
when they come
Out
up
of
here,
state,
when they go back, a lot of the stuff goes to Pittsfield or out because
Again,
Pownell's closed. They closed Shaftesbury and they closed,
They were going to Chicken.
yeah. I mean, ultimately, they bought out everybody and they just
Right.
closed everything down.
yeah, that's what we have to find
Yeah,
out,
one
where it
stop
goes. Who it would be.
And it was
just a thought.
they told me it depends on the price of the tipping fee, where it is cheaper.
Because, and there's some reliability kind of issues going on. I had scheduled early last week to have some dumpsters emptied, and they were supposed to be done Friday, they didn't get done, and then they were overfull over the weekend.
And we still have a small dumpster up there for recycling that,
Yeah, and they tend to not bring the right dumpster for the recycling, and that gets overfilled. You know,
There's one up there that it must not be recycled because it looked like
that was the demolition.
Oh, yeah, that was-
It was ridiculous,
Oh,
and I had called, and the worst part is that I was on the phone with them for 45 minutes the other day to call them back to say, hey, you never came. So, like I said, when it was Cam, I would call the number and they would pick up and I'd say, I'm Dave from town of Stamford, I need something. Okay, thanks, Dave, bye.
Yep.
2 minutes. I think it was actually 48 minutes the other day, I could probably show you the call. 48 minutes out of on the phone, so it just is irritating. And we're not really getting the service I think we're supposed to get, because I don't think we've signed a contract with them recently, but it's supposed to be within, I think, 48 hours of the call, it's supposed to be empty. At least that's how it used to be.
Is there competition?
no, there's no.
I don't believe there is, unfortunately, they bought everybody out.
Right.
So I was just.
what do they pick up, Dave?
They have the trash compactor, the demolition container, and the recycling.
In the compost.
And the compost. It was just a thought, I could keep my eye out, I mean, you're paying, I think it's $360 or $70 every time they haul that thing. Now, that adds up pretty quick.
Does the compost have to stay in town? And
Once a
stay?
week.
No, oh, Everything's supposed to stay the
Recycling's
same.
once a week and the other ones are once a month typically, so there's, for, I don't know. I was dabbling it the other day, it wouldn't take much to find something roadworthy.
It's all about the numbers, and you gotta see where we're at.
You know, if we're paying $25,000 a year or something silly like that,
Yeah,
Who did
all
the-
trash, you know, one
used to
day.
have all-
yeah.
Was it Republic?
Republic.
And then
Which
we
is the
couldn't
same.
call.
It's gotta be
Sunset.
another trash company.
Casella also.
The only other company that is out there that will haul dumpsters is Demolino.
Right, now, that's
Because
right.
they even bought out that business in Lee.
So
Yeah,
can
it's
we
really
use
dumpsters.
Demolino?
Well, 2 out of the 3 containers are ours, so I don't see why not.
Right, we should talk to them, just say, what would you do? What are you able to do out of Stamford? And let's just say, they don't do compost. Well, there's a guy that does compost out of, he'd be more involved. You know, we could look at more than one.
Because
Yeah,
some
that's-
might still do the compost, even though we don't have.
That's out of state though, I don't know.
That's what I'm wondering, but so is it Casella.
Right.
They're holding out a TAM and it's just in name only.
The subs are.
Right.
And it takes them out of states.
Yeah, eventually it leaves the state, it ain't keeping it in shape.
No, they're not.
Right, we know that. Yeah.
The only thing I could say that could be an issue would be if you, with, Demolino would be the number of people they have able to load those, because when I was doing my house, they had one guy that was able to pick dumpsters at the time.
Right.
And so they're all over the place, and so within the 48 hours, I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I know that they will lug those.
Ask them, find out.
Yeah, we could just
Yeah.
call them up and say, hey, can you do the things that this guy's doing?
Well, they probably can't at the moment, because we just hired their roll-off.
Right, they're,
And, Lori's gotta you and Lori report this to the state, so they might look at that and say, where is this going? Because they,
Quarterly reports.
yeah,
you understand, we let Demolino come into this town privately all over the place. What's the difference if they take our stuff out? It doesn't make sense to me.
You hire them to handle it properly.
Right.
Enough.
Yeah, it's kind of, the state of Vermont unfortunately has a control issue going on, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
They're eliminating competition, so you're forced to.
Well, monopolies are against the law.
Yeah, so.
Maybe I'll start one.
they're coming back. Okay, thank you, Dave. Discussion, update on sustainability of Northern Berkshire Ambulance Service Survey. Did you find out anything
So-
on that?
During that meeting that we had, Paul answered our questions, I feel. So I did reach out to John, I felt that,
Okay,
you were at the meeting, Paul, Ethier, we asked him about that. He was saying that this is a very, very beginning stages of the ambulance getting information. Doing the report, feeling out different towns, they're not in any meetings right now looking to change it. But the numbers that they were telling us, where they bill out, they get about 40% to 60% what they bill out from insurance companies. If they go and they're called, the ambulance is called to a house, and the person says denies it, when they get there, they get 0. They make most of their calls, North Adams Ambulance, or whatever it's called, North Berkshire. They get, most of their money comes from transports, hospital to hospital. Down the road, they're looking at trying to gain income other ways, and that would be one of the ways they were looking at it is looking at towns, municipalities, and feeling, how would you wanna go about a structure, whether it would be based on population or based on the number of calls. I said, well, if we fill out this report, are we locked into that? They said, absolutely not. My question, and I don't think Paul actually answered the question on this, how do we know what to put down? What is a better deal? If we go population versus calls, I have no idea how many calls Stamford has in a year for, and what they would charge versus if they use population. I have no idea. You know, so. that's-
Theoretically, if you do go by population, you get a fair responsibility, a fair contribution.
And every year, it would probably be about the same
Yeah,
amount that
And if
we
you
would.
went on the
raise
basis
for.
of calls, it could be crazy one year and nothing the next.
Right. So, and we can change at any time. This is just for that student to do his.
Survey.
Yeah, he's doing a report or a survey, and that they found that he reached out to them, said, hey, I wanna do that on this subject matter, and they said, well, yeah, it's something we would like to get information for, can we do this? So, we can fill out the report, if there's questions that you don't know, or questions you don't wanna answer, just don't answer, leave it blank. It's not locking us in, but we can put down population at this time.
Yep.
It's not gonna cost us at right now anything at all. This is just,
Doesn't commit you to anything.
but it's kind of falls on the same thing with the volunteer fire department. They're looking into the future of what's gonna happen, 10 years, 20 years down the road with ambulance services, what's gonna happen with fire departments, law enforcement, school systems, select board, everybody's getting older and what's gonna happen, so. But I wouldn't be, according to Paul, I wouldn't be afraid to fill it out, it's not something we're gonna be locked into. I will, there's been some family things with Johnny, that's why I didn't really bother him, so I will reach out to him.
So you don't wanna fill it out yet?
No, I think we can, I don't see a problem with filling it out. If you want to
Based
do
on
so.
population or based
I
on
would say population,
Based
just by
on-
what notice.
population and previous year's call combination? I don't know how they figure all that out.
Just check population.
Yeah,
They
that's what I'm
get
thinking.
be the most,
And all that is a survey.
yeah, for his thesis.
So we would have to go through the annual.
Can,
I
can
think-
that be filled out without the town of Stamford's name on it? Just as an independent survey for a small town in Vermont?
I don't know.
I think
I
this
can
says
ask that.
something
We can
here.
ask
It
that.
might be, I mean, if there's any doubts of.
So then we know, oh, Stanford said this.
Right,
I think there is something in here, you could keep it private, I think
Yeah,
I read
there you
something
go.
it
here.
might be beneficial to go that route, that way we don't feel like,
Yeah, it's just for him
you
to
could be like, well.
make it as a report. That's
Yeah.
all he's doing. He's digging up rocks and saying, this is what I found.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere.
Eventually, it's gonna go to, eventually, there's either the state's gonna have to pay for it and say, okay, we have a state-run
Oh,
system, or the taxes are gonna pay for it. One or the other.
Insurance is gonna end up paying for it.
Yeah, so one or the other,
It says here, by completing this survey, you are consenting to your responses being included in the study. At your request, your identity will not be included.
Sure. There you go.
That covers it.
That covers everything.
If you did, I went to that meeting too, and I did some kind of thinking about the whole thing too, and I think I'm on the same page as you. It doesn't mean nothing right now, and so we could do this survey and let the kid graduate and do his thing or get his PhD, whatever it is. But in the long run, this is not on us, and this is on the insurance companies and the
Sure.
ambulance companies.
And you know what, though?
To battle it up,
And inevitably, we're all gonna pay for it either way.
So
They get paid.
So because you don't have any insurance, my insurance companies, or I'm gonna have to, pay
Pay more,
right?
Sure.
And vice versa, and I don't wanna sound like a prude or anything like that, but this fight is not with us, it's with the insurance.
Yeah, I don't understand how an insurance company can charge us money to, our premiums, and then tell us service, no, we're not paying
Let me ask you a question.
it.
If you made a product and you had a whole bunch of this stuff, and you're just throwing it out the back window, and all of a sudden you got a contract, and they're willing to pay you 60 cents on a dollar.
Yeah.
How do you make up for that 40 cents?
I charge the guy next time more.
So he's only gonna pay you 60%, not 100%, he's gonna pay you 60%.
Bump my price up.
Right,
I know, you know, it's math, it's pretty easy.
So why don't
You
we do it with the
can
insurance?
do that 2 + 2, like you're talking about, you know?
You read the bill that comes back, whether it's Medicare or your insurance, so much was billed, how much was approved by Medicare, and how much was paid.
Right.
And there's huge, obviously, they're pumping up the price to begin with.
Right.
Of course they are.
For
And then they're saying, we're not getting paid, but they are.
But that is
They're
to
not-
make the insurance company say, hey, you've
Right.
gotta pay more, so.
And they're also
This is our-
not telling us, you know, that they're in the red, they're sitting there saying.
the hospitals may be going in the red, but not the insurance.
Right.
company.
Okay. I will,
Yeah, if you have any more questions, I can call.
I'll complete it with Lori
I
and
mean, if you want, I could actually have them come here if you wanted, but.
I think we're-
I don't
at this
think it's
point-
anything to get.
at this point, no. I would imagine if it comes down to billing, we're gonna have to talk about it more because it'll have to be approved at town meeting too. Review all boards meeting, I'm glad we had a lot of representatives from the select board at the meeting. And the ones that were at the meeting gave some good information of what's going on, so that was good to see. We did say maybe we can meet again in 6 months, 3 months,
I thought it was well worth having.
yeah. Try for 6 months. And maybe we'll have some other boards there,
I think it's important to do that because there is some overlap from one board to the next. If you notice, there's some things that conservation is working on that overlaps with the climate, which is ideal, but we need to talk too, right? So,
Yeah.
Anything else on all boards? Okay. Correspondence, Lori?
We received an email from Natalie O'Neill showing interest in being appointed to the planning commission.
So do we have it open?
no, we would like to put her on as
Like
an alternate.
alternate? I mean, I'll put people as an alternate too, so you put their name up there. I mean, people wanna get involved, I don't see why we would say no.
So what is the alternate doing in the planning commission? They can't vote, right?
They can if there's not a quorum. But
If
if
they're
they
short,
can't,
if regular members aren't there, they vote.
Right.
and the thing is, Nancy, is like, you still have dialogue. We're talking about a person with a PhD right here, right? And so,
I don't know, she didn't say anything,
yeah.
no information at all. I don't know who she is or anything.
Natalie has a PhD, so anyways, in chemistry and natural conservation, so she's very talented, educated. And that's that. They have a voice at the meeting, everybody, even this guy talks.
No.
Yeah, we had to throw him out last month.
You had a question? Oh,
No, I was gonna,
thought
it was
you-
already answered in the correspondence.
Yeah, you know, we talked about this at the all boards too. These are appointed positions. And when there's a board that is appointed and you don't have a quorum,
You're useless.
you can have this happen and, you know, you get people that show up and then you go, oh, we're not a quorum. Kind of a pain in the
It's
butt.
embarrassing and
Yeah.
useless.
So this helps. I don't see any negative to it.
You jump-started my memory.
Oh,
So-
geez.
So, when people come due for their term
Mhm.
or appointed boards,
Yes.
is there anything that states that those people have to be reappointed? Is that just kind of like a common courtesy that everybody does? Because I know when positions come available, I've heard grumblings that other people aren't interested. So at what point do they put in and say, hey?
I think this is a better way of doing it. Now we know.
Right,
Well,
Before we didn't know, and I think at least in my history, we've always said, hey, you know, so-and-so's on the board, he's still on the board, we haven't heard any problems, he's up, his term's up. Let's send him a thing, ask him if he wants to continue to do it. Now, it is, and I'm not saying that there's any particular person right now, but it is an opportunity to say no. There are people that you might say, hey, this person has been an agitator, or, just causing trouble, or they're not doing what we thought they would do. If we have the ability to say, in this town that we have a list of people that want on, and it is an opportunity to say, no, we're gonna appoint this person instead of this person. I've never seen that done, but we could.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what that kind of procedure would be like. So I'll use me as an example, and I'll use Jim as an example, let's say. Let's say both of our terms are up this year, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And we have two more people that are like, hey, we are interested in these two seats that are coming up for reappointment.
What we
So,
would do
it's
is
solely
send,
up to this board.
we would
Okay.
yeah, how it was done in the past, but it doesn't have to be. In March, we can say, we wanna do this. This is how we wanna, who's interested, send us a letter now. Or we can continue with the policy and send the current members whose term is up.
But we've
You
never
wanna continue?
advertised, that's what I.
Yes. I mean,
You
as
wanna continue?
a chair for the board, the planning commission, I'm not opposed to, I'm not necessarily for just continuously reappointing people. I think it's great to have a review, especially from the select board, to say, hey, exactly like you said, this is what's been happening, or this hasn't been happening, or maybe they didn't quite fit the need, maybe this person comes with some qualifications for town too, whatever the case may be. Like, I'm not opposed to, I'd be more opposed to just continuously saying, all right, they're there, they're just gonna stay there. You
And
know what I
this
mean?
could be a good time to change, because we've never had a lot of volunteers for anything, so.
It's an opportunity, a unique opportunity, this hasn't happened.
Right.
We always would wait, and then we'd be missing people, and someone would write a letter.
Yeah. And I understand that some people, they start to get busy, maybe they're older, they have different priorities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For what, there could be a
We've
plethora
had
of reasons,
members
but
where they don't go.
yeah, there
And
could
they
be,
say, geez, we don't know what's going on.
yeah, there just could be new blood that is like, hey,
Yeah.
they're willing, they're able to, and they're all for. I'm not saying that anybody's going to be any better than anybody else. I'm just saying, like, I would appreciate from my board, I can't speak for anybody else, that if the select board would take into account anybody. You know what I mean? Even if it was for myself, against myself, like, I'm not opposed to having somebody come in, you know what I mean?
And I personally, as a select board member, would look at what these boards bring back and say, the planning board recommends that this new person be considered because of this. And the other person hasn't been coming to meetings, or been on for 25 years, or, it's just, it give us reasons why. Because some people, I think, stay on boards because they know no one else is doing it. Yeah, I'll do it again. We've had people on boards for 20, 30 years, and they're in their, their older years, and they just say, yeah, I'll do it again. A board that doesn't meet a lot, like the Conservation Committee, just recently been bringing it up.
They hadn't met in years.
Yeah, they weren't meeting at all, then all of a sudden I'm hearing them all the time now. But they're just on kind of name only, they haven't done anything. And I'm not saying that they have to, it's just that.
Can I make one recommendation
No.
for this board? Could this board consider taking the recommendation, not, taking the recommendation from the chair of the committee? So, and
Okay.
that time comes at the annual meeting, at the first organization meeting. Prior to that, the meeting, prior to that, maybe the board submits a recommendation that we keep on the members that are, the current members that are terms are off, or we're having an issue and, we don't recommend. Doesn't have to get into it, it's just that they're end of the term and that's the time to do it.
Yeah, I would look at all aspects.
I don't think it would hurt to bring something up, or even have a chair sit in on like the meeting when we're doing all that.
Yeah.
I think that'd be great to have that kind of involvement from the chair.
Like Nancy's saying, we're gonna have these problems, or not problems, but these opportunities before. We were sitting there saying, hey, there's 9 people and we can't find them. So we're gonna do the 8 that wanna stay and that missing one we're gonna advertise, you know?
We don't attend the meetings like you guys would,
Right.
right? So
I've been to a lot of
it'd be nice
those
to hear
organizations.
your point of view.
Meetings.
You know, this is what's going on at the meetings.
Yeah.
We think this person would be a great, you know, asset. That would be a great idea. I think that's a good idea.
Thanks.
So when it comes to Natalie,
Appoint her as alternate?
yeah, I would make a motion that we appoint her as an alternate.
So how many are on that board now, Jim?
9,
10?
9,
9?
No alternates?
no, because Stephanie was originally the alternate, and now she has taken the vacant
And that's
position.
good that they go to meetings and even if they never vote, they can see how it's worked. So now they got a little experience with the meeting. They have all the
So
knowledge
if
in
you
the
have an
world.
alternate, how would the alternate know, like, hey, you need to attend the meeting on,
I don't think
or
they
would they
would.
just attend that meeting?
I mean, I
They
think
would
that you
just
could,
show up, knowing the
members.
meeting.
Yeah, they should show up, just like I said, so they can get knowledge of what's going on.
It's just a non-voting member.
So they're attending the meetings and just don't have any vote unless somebody's absent and then they're present.
The one thing we did mention at the all boards meeting is if an alternate steps in, say you're talking about a particular subject matter, right, and you're gonna vote. So they table it. We're not voting tonight, but we're gonna table it. The following meeting, that alternate that was involved in that evaluation of that subject matter would stay on, even though the original plan were gonna come
I don't
in.
think if it was tabled, Mike, I think if it was tabled, then it would, the board would retake
Okay.
that issue.
But
back
there
up.
is gonna be a situation though, isn't there?
Where they
Yeah,
would
there's
just-
gonna be a
yeah.
situation, like, for instance, an alternate steps in, like, one of, like, Kurt's not here right now. And so I'm the alternate, and you guys need a quorum, or John's not here, whatever, you need a quorum. And so I would make the quorum, I could vote on that issue, or the whole night. Any issue that is approved by the board based on my vote, I would continue that onward. You know, if any of that issue comes back
Right.
up on the board, that would be considered, you know, one of my cases. So,
Okay, so John made a motion to appoint her as alternate, was there a second?
So,
All in favor?
Right.
Sure. Employee policy handbook, we have to sign that, we approved it last week, the last meeting. Lori, have you heard anything from Bob on the 911 update on the
No.
numbering? Okay. I know they were gonna be working on it.
A new 911 matter that I don't know if you wanna handle now or under new business.
Might as well do it now.
Handle, discuss.
Yep.
We have somebody wanting to build on a private road off from Tatro Road. It's just a road that, has 4 properties around it. I talked to Bill about how he wanted to number it, and it made sense to name the road. Cause you can't all really be off from Tatro Road if there's
oh, this doesn't
not
have a
really
name.
driveway, it doesn't have a road name. So I wrote a letter to all of the 4 abutting property owners asking if any of them had a name they would like you to consider. I received one response back, Hawthorne Lane. from one of the 4 property owners. Once the road is named, then Bill can assign
I'm sorry, Lori, what did you suggest naming it?
Hawthorne Lane.
So when the private road is named, the town is not responsible for signage or anything, are they?
We'll put up a sign, street sign.
We do.
We
We
do,
do the
This
first.
is private.
Okay,
we do like Mountain View Lane,
so private roads, we put up signs.
Arcadia Drive, we put up
First
the,
one,
yeah.
I suggest Levine Lane.
I was gonna say Stimson.
No,
What name?
Levine Lane.
No. I don't wanna move.
Are we sending them a letter back? Cause their culvert needs to be replaced, it's a giant hole. That's bad.
Sure, before, it's gonna be a driveway permit or road permit, yeah, cause
It already exists, but they need to replace their culvert. It's bad.
we have named your road, now you need to put the culvert in, well, even before that.
So on a private road, we are responsible for telling them that they have to fix it.
Well, it's their, either whether it's a driveway or their, I mean, it's within our right of way, so.
I got you. It's at the beginning of the road.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Okay.
We were, no.
Timing should be interesting, right now, there's only one person who's using that road,
Oh,
and now there'll be a second.
gotcha.
Do we know where we're at in the permit stage of that?
What's that?
Where we're at the permit stage of that? Because I've not heard of any of this, so I just didn't.
There is a permit that has been approved
To
by
build- to build.
to build a
In the past week or two, like a 3-season cabin.
So it's gone through Deb, I'm assuming at this point first.
Can I ask the
Oh, it's
person
in their
that
box.
suggested the name, is that their name?
No, it's off from Tater Road, and it's Gene Kerfield, Craig Turner,
Kuja.
Kuja, and the new people that just bought are Salt. And this, the only response I got was from Gene Kerfield saying Hawthorne Lane.
And Salt is the one that got the permit. Now,
Salt was the new property owner that's.
it's in somebody's box, I think I moved it on, I think the permit came in our box. Oh,
So
maybe it was in,
is there a reason
Maybe it's
why
in
we would
Kurt's.
wait on this?
no?
I don't see a reason.
It's probably
No one
Kurt's
else
box.
got
That's what I'm
back,
thinking,
they have
maybe in
not
Kurt's
heard,
box.
correct? Everybody had an opportunity, they got a letter.
Everyone had an opportunity, and I asked them to respond by tonight's meeting, so you guys can make a decision.
I would make a motion.
And the whole reason we need it named is because they didn't know where they're going.
Right.
Basement 911.
Right, and if they don't like it, they had their opportunity, they can come down and fight it next year.
Point of fact, I don't think anybody has a mailbox.
Right, they all have a pound.
No, well,
Tater Road, they might be on, no.
Fairfields don't have a.
They're all
mailbox
down the bottom.
At all.
They-
They still have a post office box in North Adams.
Oh, okay.
I don't think Craig
How come we don't?
has a local mailing address.
Yeah, he lives in North Adams.
But even anybody up on County Road or Mill Road, all go to the bottom anyway for mailboxes, right?
Someone tells me though, if there's ever an incident, half the police department are like, Hawthorne Lane, where the hell's that?
Right,
They
right.
ain't gonna know
Yeah,
where
but
that is.
once you name it,
It goes to
It's
our,
going on
it
data.
goes to the state
Put it
post
on the
office, it
app
goes
or-
Yeah, it
everywhere.
goes in the database.
911.
I mean, I don't see any reason to hold it up. If there was a reason to hold it up, I'd say go ahead, but no.
Bill makes a sign, who makes a sign for the road? Does the fire department do it?
Tom does.
no, Dave,
Dave does.
I'll make a motion, we name it Hawthorne Road,
Lane
Hawthorne
or-
Lane or Road.
Hawthorne Lane, whatever they want.
Isn't there a 2-year waiting list for all signs?
Just municipality signs, Jim.
Bill,
Then
so-
we get to put 2 at a time up.
depending on what Gene writes, or if it wasn't clear, Lane is more likely to indicate the kind of road it is.
So is Lane appropriate or not appropriate?
She
It
put
is.
Lane, correct?
It is, she put Lane.
Yeah.
Fine.
It's pretty near now.
Now I gotta go measure them all.
Now, I'll put that back in Kurt's box. Yeah, it's a 20 by 30 seasonal cabin.
Is the lane currently
Nothing else.
accessible by, emergency vehicles?
Hold on.
Is that widened?
What are we doing here?
It exists.
Check.
Cause he's saying the culvert needs to be
Yeah.
replaced, and
Because it's supposed to
leads
go
me to
to.
think like, maybe the rest of it probably needs work too.
Oh, it definitely does.
I'm
I
sorry, John, I
haven't driven
didn't
on
hear.
it in 10, 15 years.
And they're responsible for maintaining it.
See, well, here, yeah, I mean, the state law, there's a state law about private road. We don't, I don't think anybody really enforces it, it's up to them, but.
So there's four owners, they all kind of. pitch in
Kuja has a
and
separate
maintain it.
entrance.
The state
Yeah,
law
on
is
Tinker
rated.
Road, but they have a large property that
They
goes
have
up
to
the side,
contribute rating,
same with the curfew.
that's all it says.
Bill's gonna get a 911 call, he's gonna say, meet me at the broken culvert, cause we're not driving.
Yeah, and that's.
You don't know where a broken
It's
culvert is?
important that there at least some level of minimal maintenance, I mean, where, the fire department has to go up there.
Can
I
you
mean,
work with
if this
Lori on
goes
the
through, we're
letter?
gonna have two structures on the road.
Well, isn't there a third one too? That fellow's got a garage up there, right?
Well, it'd be one, and then this would be two.
Is this on his land?
No, it's like a butter.
Okay, so you got that garage or whatever,
That's
Fine.
great.
and then this one.
Yep.
And Kuja's technically off of this cul-de-sac.
So
Even though it's got
Kuja
different
goes
driveway.
up the right side, Curfew goes up the left side, and then there's two at the top.
Right,
But Kuja has a different entrance to his house.
right, but technically he's on that cul-de-sac too, because that's part of the subdivision.
What's his 911? Take a road.
Take a road.
Kuja has their own driveway access.
Yeah,
Right,
If they technically-
if he ever decides that he wants to take access off of that,
he's got a.
off third lane,
Yeah, he-
we'll have to give him a number. But there have to be a structure, and he needs to have the driveway off of it into his structure.
well, he's
So
already
it
got it,
curtails.
right.
I just have a dumb question, so what's that, Poplar Ave?
Poplar
Drive? There's more than one house there, how are their 911? Does it say that drive, that's their?
They have street numbers on Poplar Drive.
And every private road will be, the 911 number is the name of the private road. So even up by Jim's, he's got a private road up by you, right? Not you, Jim, this Jim. So that's, I can't remember, Blaze Road or?
Blaze Line
So
Road.
there's two structures on there now?
Yeah.
And they have
And they have separate numbers on Blaze Road.
Wow, okay, that's good.
Now, so down on the Shore Road, do they have both their numbers to show that up in Blaze Road, there's two structures? They're just, they'd have to drive up Blaze Road and find
In fact,
one and three.
There's now a street sign for Blaze Road.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying, so the 911, this comes off of that road.
and people get confused because it doesn't say private road. There's even a person building across the road from the driveway, and he thought that was a regular road, because it doesn't say private
Oh,
road.
I see, yeah.
Doesn't the sign say private?
No,
No. I don't know why you.
we've never done that.
Well, on Mountain View Lane, it says private, doesn't it? I think I thought they said,
Blaze Road? I don't know.
I thought it said private, the small PVT.
That's up to the landowners, I
No,
guess. They don't want John there.
Do you plow Mountain View Lane?
No, in the
No,
town.
But it's kind of, if you live on the end of a private road and, he's in the front of it, he can't stop me from going to visit you.
Right.
I know it's private in the sense, but.
Privately maintained.
Right, but the mailman or UPS, and people go up those roads.
But that's why the state has ordinances saying that you can compel each of the people along the road to contribute to its maintenance.
Can you check and see private road, Mountain View or Popular? Popular, I thought they said private at the end.
It does. Poplar has, I think it says PBT on the
I
side.
thought so too.
Okay.
Nichols Road,
Actually, DVT,
so if it's private, do the same with Hawthorne and we'll continue that way.
that's the way you want it.
So Mike made the motion, do we have a second?
People get confused.
Hawthorne?
Yeah.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then if you would work with Dave and send a letter that they need a culvert, send him the culvert stuff and And if you stress that emergency vehicles aren't gonna be able to get up there readily, or,
There's a hole right in the center, that's pretty obvious, you can see it. I'm sure the fire department can get over it, but
yeah,
one does it collapse.
Yeah.
And it's starting to fill in, it's not flowing full,
It's not doing its job.
pipe, so.
Could rip a tire.
yeah.
As
Um,
soon as it starts getting undermined, that's it.
town sign update, Lori got a couple of,
Yeah, I think I emailed both,
Yep.
2 designs. The price will stay the same regardless of what you pick, so it's just a matter of choosing what you want and moving forward.
any preference, guys?
I put in email that I like the arch better, but I don't care.
I like seeing them both. I like the arch better compared to the straight across.
What kind of mirrors the church, doesn't it? The arch one?
A little bit.
Yeah,
The church has a little.
I don't think,
more
I just think it's got a little bit more,
Pizzazz.
I like it, yeah.
but I don't,
It's bigger too.
if the sign gets up there, I'll be happy.
Yes.
I think the only thing you gotta look at is the beautiful
I like the
sign up
square
on the
one,
wall
but
now.
yeah, we got a sign.
The nice square
And
one,
then you have the other one.
that's the one that you,
Yes. I liked it in the beginning, but I kind of like the swoop better now.
Nope, doesn't matter to me.
So,
Somebody
do we have
decided,
a motion to go which one?
Pull it from the hat.
Motion to use the arch sign.
There you go. Second.
All in favor? Aye, get her done.
Well, I got another sign coming, another design.
Octagon,
No more. Get her done.
it's gonna be 3D.
right,
Jim,
It'll
can
be
you
moving.
work with Pam about the flowers and,
Yeah, I actually reached out, called her today, but I didn't get a return.
okay. Alright, under old business, dog update, everybody registered or just still one?
still one.
That
I'm
one,
gonna get in touch with them this week.
Luke is gonna get in touch with them or?
Luke was going to, I talked to him maybe Wednesday-ish, and he was gonna try and call again.
Okay,
So the deal was he was waiting for an August appointment.
On that subject,
mid-September.
at one point in time, the town used to do a rabies flag. Is that something that we may wanna do?
Why did we stop, well,
we ran out
Fire
of volunteers.
what's that?
The fire department put it on. We kind of ran out of volunteers because you have to clean before and clean after the firehouse in the meeting room. Sometimes it went easily, sometimes it was a mess to clean up. And then we had difficulty of getting a veterinarian who would come and do it. And one thing to another led
The last one was here, right?
to
The
give it up.
last one was
It was
here,
here.
it worked out good, Laurie said, I was wondering about the cleanup too, but I guess it worked out all right, the dogs were fine. And then with so many rabies clinics around at Tractor Supply and most people bring their dogs to vets anyway, it almost wasn't worth their time to do it. You probably got 20, 30 dogs registered the most.
Between 20 and 30 people would come and license the dogs. I mean, we always did it Sunday afternoon from like 1 to 3 and.
It did, this year there was none, but you still have the same people that are on the list. But that's something,
Yeah,
check
I mean, I
with
was
Luke
just
and see
thinking
how
about
he
it.
feels about it.
You're gonna put on the clinic, you're probably not gonna get everybody in town to go to it anyway, so you're still gonna have dogs not registered, not,
Yeah.
you know, so why bother doing it, right?
I mean, it is handy for the people who, like your rabies shot is usually a 3-year shot. So it revolves and anybody who brings their dog to the clinic will license their dog
Right down there.
right then and there. So it is convenient.
Tractor Supply is less expensive
Yes.
than going to a vet.
And the vet used to give the fire department, part of the donation, that one vet.
$1.
$1 a dog?
Yeah.
Well,
They don't donate to the town.
no. I don't know.
There are traveling veterinarians though, so if anybody has a dog in town and is incapable of getting it to the vet, there are veterinarians that will come to your house.
Yes.
You just have to
Good to know.
do some locating and find that person, but
Dr.
I
B
use one.
used to do it, I don't know if he does anymore.
No, Greylock, Handbook would say, if you're gonna have your dog euthanized, so maybe it's worth checking, maybe, because we've used it more than twice.
I've used it too, and then I see you got a shot for me too. It was bad, it was bad, bad. Any other old business, Lori? New business. Okay, let's go on to executive session. I make a motion to go into executive session for personnel matter and then for pending or probable civil litigation.
Second.
Second.